I want to move on to something that we had covered in the September 17th episode of this show. And I don't think you guys were not on that episode with me, but there was a case about a high schooler whose name is August Borden. And this is a strange case, you guys. This is a high schooler who basically went to football practice or was out doing something with his teammates and or friends, ends up in a predicament where he actually stops, his heart stops. His face is all beat up and bloody. His head is all beat up and bloody. His heart stops. He's taken to the hospital. His parents have no idea what happened to him. He has no idea what happened to him, obviously, because when you're hurt that badly, you will not have a recollection. He doesn't have a recollection. There was a short investigation by police. They did interview some witnesses at this school. And the police have now closed the criminal case. This kid died and came back to life. He looks like he was run over by a truck. And the police say, sorry, parents, nothing to see here. Are you kidding me? Guys.
All right, well, Mark, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first because I disagree with John.
I'm not mad about this, but go ahead.
I'm not mad at all. So maybe you and I see this the same way.
You're not mad at all?
Nope. Not at all. Listen, I'm upset that this tragedy occurred. There are many tragedies that occur, and then we defer to law enforcement to conduct a thorough investigation. I have no reason to believe that they didn't. They spoke to 17 witnesses. 8 of them were eyewitnesses. And then they came out and said, here's our findings. There was some type of, and don't kill the messenger on this one, some type of bear hug to this guy, and then he tripped and he fell.
Bullshit.
It was a
Bullshit.
Tragic accident because you know better. Let's hear about your findings, Jonna.
Wait. I'm sorry. Before you hear about my findings, can we just play SOT 1 because this is the presser where they said
wasn't
the case
done, but play it. Go ahead.
I know. We'll get back to you, Mark.
I'm here telling y'all this case is closed as far as the criminal justice system goes. We are through with it. There's lots of unfortunate things that happen in life, and that does not mean necessarily there must be criminal charges. And we uncovered no evidence that would support any kind of criminal charges in this matter. So this will conclude this case as far as any possibility of criminal action.
I love it. I love it because, please, you and all the conspiracy people, listen to me. Maybe that's possible. I'm not naive. I know politics plays a huge role in many, many DA's offices around the country. That said, I have no reason to believe that the evidence led anywhere other than this was a tragic accident and we can't prove a criminal offense beyond a reasonable doubt. It takes courage for him to stand there and take the lashing that people like you, Jonna, are going to dole out to him. Shame on you.
I'm not mad at Jonna, and I'm not going to bash Jonna because she sees it another way. But what I can say is I think the family may have a civil case.
Oh, look, absolutely.
I think that there's some argument here that there was, negligent supervision of these kids and things like that. But look, here's where I'm coming from. Okay, I have a child who plays high school football. Okay, I know how high school footballers roughhouse with each other after practice. So this rings true to me when I hear that these prosecutors have found that these kids were just roughhousing after practice. I can see it. I can easily see that happen. I have also, unfortunately, I've been an eyewitness to a situation where someone fell and broke their head open on some concrete steps. Okay, it happened at a sporting arena, but nevertheless, someone who lost their footing and had a severe head injury, and I think around the eye socket as well, similar to this young man. And so I can see how people can be seriously injured by losing their footing. And I can also see how you can lose your footing if your buddy is roughhousing with you, although they don't have, we talked about this a minute ago, the mens rea, the criminal intent. That's what's lacking. And I think that's what the prosecutors are saying. Okay. Now, could you perhaps make a case that this was somehow some kind of misdemeanor, reckless conduct or something? Maybe, but the prosecutors who have looked at it, and by by the way, they've spoken to the witnesses that would be the witnesses at any trial. And they have determined that these witnesses would not be helpful to a prosecution case, and that maybe they would be more helpful to support a defense case if the defense was, this was an accident. So, look, I'm obviously glad that the young man is going to get well. It looks like by all accounts he will, but the injuries were severe, right? And I think that if I were maybe the father of that child, that young man, I would absolutely, and I know that the father is very upset by this, and I don't blame him. We all would be. We love our children. We don't want these things to happen. My efforts legally would be focused on whether there is a civil case to be brought, perhaps against the adults who maybe were supposed to be and weren't supervising these kids, or other people that might perhaps be liable on a civil basis, something that doesn't require an intention, doesn't require the mens rea, the criminal intent aspect of a crime. So that's where I would focus my efforts. The injuries were severe. This does appear to be a tragic sort of an accident, but here's my one caveat. They say that there's some video that supports these eyewitnesses. I haven't seen it. I'd like to see that video if there's one that exists. I don't necessarily always like to just take prosecutors at their word at these press conferences. I'm inquisitive by nature, and I think our audience probably is too. I would like to see some of the underlying evidence, just like in the fire case. I'd like to see some of this evidence and not just rely on what prosecutors tell us they believe it means.
So we got some breaking news, Jonna. We just found out Jonna apparently wants to outlaw bear hugs. She's looking for a 5-year minimum mandatory for anybody who does it.
Yeah, you know what? I've never been a hugger, so I agree with that. Very funny. But
I mean, look how tragic. Look what can result from a simple bear hug.
Can we put up the picture of the victim again? Because here's where you guys...
Oh, would you stop? Would you stop? Look what you're doing.
This is where you're missing the mark.
The audience sees what you're doing. This is so transparent.
The picture of his injuries do not match the size of the steps that he allegedly fell face first on, you guys. I mean, this is not, the steps are little 3-inch baby steps. He literally looks like somebody took a bowling ball and beat him about the face with it. That's why I am calling bullshit on this police press conference. There had to be more to this story. I agree, there's going to be a civil suit. Of course there will be a civil suit. But something nefarious went on here. This kid would not suffer those injuries without some other intentional or very reckless conduct.
So how about this? I call bullshit on you. How about you tell us exactly what you think happened? We have 8 witnesses who support that there was nothing nefarious.
That all got their stories straight. Come on, you guys. We've all interviewed kids. Have you not interviewed? We've all interviewed kids over the course of our career, right?
And they can be broken down in a matter of seconds. You don't think these experienced grown-ups raked them over the coals and then got to this conclusion? Fairly,
and they
honestly?
all, but you know what they all have in common? They all want to protect their own hides at all costs and protect their wrongdoing from their parents. And so it's very difficult sometimes to really get to the truth. I would simply say, if I were prosecuting this case and I would have brought it, I would say, look at this face. This is not the face that got a bear hug, tripped, oops, fell. It just doesn't support those findings.
Well, I'm glad you're not prosecuting this. I really am. I'm so grateful that you are where you are, because some innocent person would get wrapped up in this whole
thing. Jonna, to your point real quick on the steps. Okay, so the witnesses, I'm looking at what they're saying. The witnesses have said, they're saying that he, according to the witnesses, as he was going down, his left foot slipped off this 6-inch landing, okay, as shown in the picture I think we've got there, right? And his knees hit the landing, and witnesses described it as a catapult action. As his knees hit, his upper body went forward extremely hard, and the first thing that hit was the side of his face and the front of his face, and then he went into some kind of a seizure. And I'm telling you, I have unfortunately seen someone fall on concrete steps, and it's awful. It's just awful.
It happens, Jonna. It happens.
I don't know if this person catapulted, but all I know is what the gory injury that I saw as this person was being taken off by first responders damn near unconscious, if not, I mean, I thought she was dead. I mean, and so, yeah, just concrete steps can really, really cause serious injury. If I hadn't seen that with my own eyes in my lifetime, and not too long ago, as it were, I might be as skeptical as you, but given my own life experience, and by the way, jurors will bring their life experiences into the jury room, into the courtroom as well. Yeah, and so, I mean, to me, what the prosecutors are saying, this has the ring of truth to it. It just does. If there's some evidence to the contrary, I could change my mind. But as it stands, I don't see any evidence, assuming the prosecutors are telling us the truth. I don't see that there's any evidence to support a criminal prosecution. I just don't.
Assuming they're telling us the truth. Just quick sidebar. Remind me to show you guys the scar on my knee when we meet for the Emmy Awards later on in 2026 that I have from 20 years ago. From falling on concrete, and I did not catapult and smash my face and die.
Well,
but okay,
we're glad of that. Thank God.
Remind me to show you. It's still there.
Conclusive evidence proving they're lying. I get it. Yeah.